Defeat in the Second Schleswig War in 1864, John Jensen and his younger brother, Peter, leave their war-torn homeland and travel across the Atlantic Ocean to America, hoping to start over. For 7 long years, they work hard to build a new life in a strange and unfamiliar land. During all this time, John misses his wife Marie and their young son, Kristian, who stayed behind in Denmark. Being away from his family for so many years has left a deep hole in John's heart. The year is now 1871. John and Peter are standing at a train station in the American frontier, waiting excitedly. At last, John is about to be reunited with his beloved family. Soon, he sees Marie and Kristian stepping off the train, both smiling brightly. Little Kristian greets his father, and there's a deep love and care between the couple. John then proudly introduces them to Peter, and together they begin their journey back home. Peter says he has some things to do before he joins them.
Where are you going?
My wife doesn't speak the language. She will learn.
The moment is interrupted when the couple sitting parallel are replaced by 2 men who radiate danger. One of them is the criminal Paul Delarue, the brother of Henry Delarue, a notorious gang leader. Paul has just been released from prison, and the look in his eyes is anything but friendly. From this moment forward, it all starts going downhill. That evening, when Paul and his partner are dozing off, a gentle moment takes place inside the stagecoach. John is teaching Kristian about the local animals and talking about future hunting trips. But the calm doesn't last. Paul suddenly starts walking to Marie and offers her a drink. John tells her to take it out of politeness.
You ain't got a hell of a lot to say, do you? I like that. My own princess, she don't talk at all. She's mute. The Indians cut her tongue out and she was a little girl. I suppose they got tired of hearing her scream after they killed her parents. What is your name?
My wife's name is Marie.
Paul starts flirting with Marie in a way that makes John very uneasy. Paul reaches for Marie's dress, trying to touch her. John warns him to stop. The second man pulls a gun on John, trying to keep him quiet.
What are you gonna do about it? Can't do nothing. Come here!
John, trying to protect his family, whispers in Danish to Marie, telling her to bite Paul's ear. She does, and in the confusion, John quickly grabs the thug's gun. Holding the weapon now, John fights to take control of the situation. He urges his son to pick up the other gangster's gun, but Paul takes advantage of the chaos. His thug grabs Kristian and puts a knife to the boy's neck. Paul orders John to get off the stagecoach, or he'll kill his family. John tries to say something to Marie, but Paul pushes him out. Eventually, he finds Kristian's lifeless body lying by the roadside. Heartbroken, John collapses, holding his son tight and crying. Slowly, he picks up the boy's body and walks away. Further down the road, he finds the stagecoach stopped. John gently sets Kristian's body down and walks up to the dead coachman, taking his gun. Using his old soldier skills, he fires a shot to startle the horses, then carefully aims at the gangsters. He quickly kills one of them and chases after Paul, who's trying to run away. Paul begs for his life. The next morning, Peter arrives. He had noticed unusual horses around and came to investigate. He finds John crying over the bodies of Marie and Kristian. Peter tries to comfort his brother.
The
The 2 brothers hug, both deeply grieving, and now all they have left is each other. The scene then shifts to a dusty town in the Wild West. A group of armed men on horseback ride into town like they own it. They're led by Henry Negan Delarue, a ruthless former Union Army colonel known for his brutal fights against Native Americans and zombies. He gets off his horse and approaches Mayor Nathan Keene, who also acts as the town's priest and undertaker. Delarue is angry. He demands answers about 2 dead men found nearby. Mayor Keene, visibly nervous, assures him that no one in town had anything to do with it. What the mayor and townspeople don't yet realize is that one of the dead men is Delarue's brother, Paul.
Make sure he doesn't stink of booze when the princess sees him.
Of course.
Delarue speaks. He gives them until noon to find the killer, or he'll kill 2 innocent townspeople as punishment. Quoting the Bible, he promises revenge. To make his point clear, he says that if the mayor doesn't choose the victims, he'll kill 4 instead of 2. Soon, Mrs. Borowski, an elderly woman who owns the gun shop, and a disabled man are to be picked to be his victims.
I am ready, Father.
The whole town will always be grateful to you.
I'm not sure I can make it without you, Grandma.
Of course you can, my boy.
Delarue shoots the disabled man without hesitation. As Wojciech, Mrs. Borowski's grandson, cries beside her, she bravely prays for Delarue's evil soul. But he kills her too, without showing any mercy. He doesn't hesitate. He fires again, killing a 3rd innocent in full view of his wife, emotionless. Sheriff Malik tells the townspeople not to interfere and be calm. Everyone seems powerless against Delarue, who demands more protection money and raises the prices.
Seems to me you're gonna need more protection with the killer around. $160 due at the end of the month, every month. Until you find the man that killed my brother.
Later, at Paul's burial, his widowed sister-in-law, Madeline, who is mute, stands by the grave. Delarue offers her cold and empty words of comfort. At the same time, John and Peter bury Marie and Creston. Filled with sorrow and a growing need for revenge, the brothers decide to leave and head west. Known for their excellent shooting skills, they attract attention. Some townspeople suspect that they may have been involved in Paul's death. When they reach Black Creek, someone tips off the sheriff.
Where's your grandmother?
Delarue shot her. And we could use people like you if we're ever gonna face that murder.
Yeah, I was a soldier once, and it taught me a lesson. Don't get into a fight. You know you're gonna lose.
Meanwhile, John tries to sell his land to Mayor Keene. The mayor offers only half the amount John originally paid, blaming Delarue's new taxes and rising threats. John then realizes that the man he killed was Paul Delarue. With no other options, John agrees to sell for the low price. The mayor advises him to hide the money in his boot for safety.
You'll need to keep that money somewhere safe. In your boots, maybe? There's a lot of hungry people out there.
Around the same time, Delarue and Madeline, aka the Princess, meet with businessmen from the Standard Atlantic Oil Company. They hand Delarue a bundle of money and warn him to be careful with his violent actions. They reveal that the federal government has cut off Black Creek, leaving Sheriff Malik without help. The company's goal is to buy up all of the land in the area because of its oil-rich soil, and they want Delarue to take control by force. Soon after, Peter is arrested as well, but not before putting up a fight. Sheriff Malik later sits down with John for a serious talk.
Let Pete run. Malik.
He broke a deputy marshal's jaw. Now I'm sorry for your loss, John. Yeah, I am.
I won't be the last man Delarue's gonna kill around here.
Nope, probably not. But your death's gonna buy us some time.
The sheriff pleads with John to surrender, believing his sacrifice might buy the town just enough time for federal help to arrive. At sunrise the following day, the air was dry and heavy with silence as the sheriff handed John over to Delarue's gang. Before they dragged him away, Delarue's right-hand man, Cantona, gave John a harsh punch to the gut, as if adding salt on injury. John was then bound tightly to a wooden post outside Delarue's headquarters, left to burn beneath the relentless sun. When Delarue arrived with Madeleine, his late brother's mute widow, John wasted no time. With pain and fury in his voice, he told her that her so-called husband had murdered his child and assaulted his wife. But Delarue didn't let him finish. He silenced John with a brutal punch, making it clear he had no intention of listening.
We will soon find out what you're made of, soldier.
His plan was both ruthless and straightforward. Tie John up, deny him food and water, and let the heat do the rest. As the day dragged on, the sun burned overhead and vultures began circling above. Just when it seemed things couldn't get worse, Mayor Keene arrived. At first, it seemed like he might help, but instead, he stole John's boots and hidden money. Then, with a smirk and unsettling familiarity, he greeted Delarue by his first name.
I'll be with you in a moment, Henry.
Revealing the criminal alliance. Meanwhile, back at the jailhouse, Sheriff Malik was away at church, and Peter, John's brother, was preparing to escape. Unlike John, Peter was more tactical in moments like this. He needled the deputy just enough to get under his skin.
Got you pretty good, didn't I? I mean, you were ugly before I knocked out your teeth. Hope you have a woman that loves you. Of course, you ain't gonna find one with that face. That's for sure.
Shut up.
Now, you don't just sound like a sick mule. You look like one, too.
I said shut up.
When the moment was right, he knocked the man out and broke free. Back at Delarue's hideout, there was no sign of grief over Paul's death. If anything, Delarue looked at Madeleine as if she were part of the spoils. Bruises on her face, terror in her eyes. He still forced her into bed. Love had no place here, only possession.
You and me, we're gonna get a place in New Orleans. You will be the princess of New Orleans.
But it was a future she never asked for. Later that night, rain poured down as John remained tied to the post, weak and soaked. But help came at last. As they made their escape, they encountered 2 more gang members, and Peter quickly shot them down. Their escape became loud. Delarue's men mounted horses and gave chase. John, weakened, couldn't hold on and fell from his horse. Thinking quickly, Peter hid him behind a large rock, claiming they were not going to stop the chase anyway. Being the brave man he was, he used himself as bait to draw the gang away. John woke the next morning parched and weak, every breath a struggle. He crawled to a muddy puddle, gulping down the foul water like a dying man. But his moment of relief shattered when he saw one of Delarue's men hauling Peter's limp body through the dirt, tied to a horse. Back at Delarue's base, the safe was empty, and Madeleine had vanished. She had taken the oil money and escaped to the train station. Standing by the train with a heavy bag of cash, she looked anxiously around, hoping to leave it all behind. Delarue slapped her face, but she didn't stay quiet. She spit the blood back in his face. Though Delarue wanted to kill her immediately, his right-hand man suggested she might still be useful. Her life was spared, for now. Meanwhile, John wandered through the dry land near Black Creek until he stumbled upon Mrs. Whistler, a tough, armed landowner. She fired warning shots as he approached her well. John, desperate and parched, ignored the gunshots and pressed on. But the well was filled with thick, black, crude oil, not water. Once she recognized John, she lowered her gun and invited him in, giving him food and clean water. Mrs. Whistler had also lost someone to Delarue's violence, her husband.
Delarue killed my husband.
That night, John went to Mayor Keene's home, gun in hand. He forced the trembling mayor to return his boots and stolen money. As John interrogated him, he learned the mayor had also bought Mrs. Whistler's land. When John pushed harder, Keene tried to lie, but John ordered him to place himself in an open coffin, terrifying him.
Take care of these matters.
Get him.
Oh, I'm just
just trying to make a good living. I'm a businessman.
You're not even a man.
Finally, Keene confessed he had handed over land deeds to Delarue, helping him take over the town. Afterward, John visited Mrs. Borowski's old store, now managed by her grandson, Wojciech. John gathered supplies, including ammunition and flammable liquids. He urged Wojciech to inform Sheriff Malik about the corrupt partnership between Delarue and Mayor Keene.
Let me come.
You're just a kid.
I'm not a kid. I turned 16 in May.
I've been practicing my shooting. I'm not a bad shot.
The next morning, John put his plan into action. He used Mayor Keene's body as a decoy, sealing it inside a coffin. Delarue opened it, shocked, and ordered his men to burn it. At the same time, Wojciech started a bonfire to draw more attention. Then, hidden behind cover, he began shooting. Wojciech, proving himself brave, climbed to a rooftop with more flammable supplies, but the creaking wood alerted a thug below. The man found Madeleine bound upstairs. Wojciech began shooting again, but this thug downstairs retaliated and killed the boy. The killer lit a cigarette with a smug grin, oblivious to the fuel seeping across the floor above him. Hearing the commotion, John rushed towards the flames. He saw the thug dragging Madeleine out. With precise aim, John shot him in the leg, sending Cantona down. However, the moment John revealed himself, he overlooked one crucial detail. Delarue was still out there. The gang leader shot John, knocking him to the ground. Standing over him, Delarue mocked John for being stronger than expected.
I underestimated you, soldier. Killed all my men.
But before he could finish the job, Madeleine appeared.
He sure as hell.
In the aftermath of the gunfire, John and Madeleine found themselves aiming at each other. Tension crackled in the silence until, without a word, they slowly lowered their weapons. Whatever they lost, they now had one thing in common: a shared enemy. Later on, Sheriff Malik showed up with the federal reinforcements. He offered John gratitude for saving the town, until his eyes landed on Madeleine, and his expression tightened.
She's coming with me.
Faced with no choice, Malik backed down. As calm returned, the quiet man and the haunted woman rode side by side, leaving behind the ashes of what was. Together, they began a new journey, shaped by grief, justice, and an unspoken bond.